back to the Foul Line. I'm your host as always, Connor Black. With me as always, Wyatt Allison.
What's up?
I mean, things look a little different around here. You know, we got the new setup. I think it looks great.
I do too. I like it.
I'm really happy with the improvements we've made. I know we haven't dropped an episode in five months.
Quite a while.
I checked. It was 5 months. So yeah, I'm really excited to
We
get
on
into it.
episode 15?
Episode 15, technically, yeah. It's been a long, long road getting here since 2021.
I believe so.
Yeah, we've been grinding this thing out for 3 years, 15 episodes, a lot of inconsistencies, but you know, we're back, you know, we're locking in, so.
That's life for you.
Yeah, so you know, let's hop right in. Obviously Wyatt Holt isn't here. He actually, you know, had his wisdom teeth out, so we're gonna lock it in without him. We're excited to get him back on when he's ready to go. But yeah, so let's hop right in. You know, we just got done with All-Star Weekend. You know, we hear a lot of complaints about it not being competitive, it being super boring. You know, you hear that probably every year, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things that you can kind of do to, you know, kind of change that aspect, even just fix whole All-Star Weekend in a whole?
So, first off, I would say get rid of the skills competition. They keep trying to amp it up and make it better with these different rules and things like that. It doesn't work. It's boring.
The team thing does not work.
Yeah. What really told me when they should have got rid of it was when they had all three of the Antetokounmpo brothers do it. That was horrible to watch.
Nash shouldn't even be in the NBA, let alone the skills.
Right. Two of them, one of them is given a freebie on a roster. The other one is barely on a G League team. But anyway, I think the skills competition needs to go away.
Well, the skills challenge was cool. I think the last skills challenge I actually locked in and watched was the Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, John Wall, Steph Curry skills challenge in
What year was that?
I think 2014.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a good skill. That's when it was just solo guards.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who the skills challenge is for. It's for guards. I'm pretty sure Joel Embiid won it 3 years ago. And if he's winning your skills challenge when it's passing and dribbling, what are we doing?
Right.
And I think I agree. They should wipe it out. I think they should implement a 1v1 tournament.
So my question to that is, 1v1 tournament, if you got, say, let's put in Trae Young, for example. If you got Trae Young as a 4 seed going up, if it's got a 16 seed system, you got him going up against, say, a Paolo Banchero or something, just someone way bigger than him. How do you think that becomes more entertaining when you have such a big size discrepancy?
Because at the same time, Paolo is a 6'8", small forward, power forward. We never see him in game guard guys like Trae Young. We never see one-on-one matchups between him and Trae Young. But at the same time, Paul's gonna have to adjust and be able to guard a small, shifty guard like Trae Young can shoot from the logo.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just interesting to see. I mean, you may see people who aren't those defensive players, you know, break out some actual defensive skill. I mean, at the end of the day, they are NBA players.
Oh, yeah.
They're the world's top athletes, so they gotta be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And but then again, you look at the positive. You get guys like, you know, KD and LeBron going at it, Joel Embiid and Giannis. You know, you throw Jokic in there. Who knows if he's gonna be trying on? But it'd be interesting to see.
Jokic would be like that dad at a family reunion that's just messing around, throwing up trick shots, and he would make them, and he would win the whole thing. He would just win the whole thing.
I also seen a horse competition, like a horse turn. They did that 1 year, I think, a while back. I'm talking about early 2000s.
Okay.
But I think it'd be more entertaining than the skills challenge.
Would you just say the two guys that make the most difficult shots?
Well, I seen a tournament. Somebody was talking about an 8 seed horse tournament.
Okay.
But I thought that would take way too long.
It probably would take quite a while.
The dunk contest. I'm not saying we have to get rid of it. I'm saying I see a lot on Twitter or X, whatever, of people saying bring in outside dunkers Jordan Kilgannon. What's that one guy's name? Chris something. I can't think of his name right now. But just guys like that, that can do all these, basically trick shot dunks.
Mm-hmm.
Why not bring them in and compete against NBA players, or just let them take over it completely?
Right.
It is the NBA slam dunk contest, but there's just so many dunks that have already been done that it's hard to
replicate the same thing and get the same effect.
The last good dunk contest I think we've had was the Aaron Gordon Jones Jr. in 2021 with when he dunked over Taco.
Yeah.
I think that was the last quality dunk contest the NBA's had.
I would agree. I think it's not so much that the dunks are getting diluted because there's been just so many copies over the years. It is hard to become original because the more original you get, the more extreme like the movement the dunk is, and it's just that much harder to pull off, right? But I mean, we've seen guys. The best dunk contest of all time, I think we can agree, is 2016. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The stuff Levine and even like Andre Drummond. Who was the fourth guy they had? Andre Drummond, Aaron Gordon, Levine.
Wasn't Gary Harris?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, it's just the creativity those two guys come out with. Aaron Gordon jumping over a mascot, getting the ball dropped off from the drone. Then Levine doing the solo with the spin 360.
Yeah, stepping inside the free throw.
Yeah, the 3 foot like windmill from a free throw line.
But the thing is, like, I feel like everybody's saying like, stars aren't doing it. Stars aren't. I don't think that's an issue. I honestly don't.
So let me question the stars not doing it. Recently, but after the dunk contest, Stephen A. Smith said LeBron James was responsible for ruining the dunk contest because he's never done it.
I get what he's saying. I'm not saying LeBron's the reason the dunk contest is horrible.
Right.
I'm saying Stephen A. as a point because I'm pretty sure LeBron was supposed to do it in it was like 2000 and it was earlier. It was like
I remember one year Magic Johnson straight up offered him $1 million to do it.
I want to say it was his first year on the Heat. He was supposed to do it. He backed out, or no, he was on the Cavs. It was 07. They said he verbally committed he would do it, and then he was at the dunk contest the year prior and said I would be in the dunk contest next year. He didn't do it. I think a guy that has that much influence on the league and then says I'm not doing it, it does cause a pattern. Because if arguably the greatest player of all time isn't good enough for the dunk contest, or thinks he's too good for the dunk contest, and doesn't want to do it, why would other stars follow?
It does. I think it does kind of leave a weird mark because you've seen Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Even Karl Malone did it one year, did he? But even regardless, Karl Malone's one of the most iconic dunkers of all time.
Yeah, I mean Dominique ran the dunk contest, Dr. J, those guys.
Jason Richardson, a bunch of 2000s guys.
But I think stars. When I think of people like that, I'm not thinking of like Russell Westbrook was supposed to be in a dunk contest in 2013, but they didn't get voted in. So do the fans even want to see that? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the dunk contest is going to probably be in the NBA All-Star Weekend, probably till the end of time.
Probably.
I don't see them getting rid of it.
It is pretty crazy how since a few years ago, people started saying the three-point contest was more popular, more fun to watch than the dunk contest.
I think the Steph and Sabrina thing was a great idea.
I think it worked very well.
I think it shined light on the WNBA. It also, obviously, it was NBA All-Star Weekend. A light was already shined on the NBA. I think Indiana was a great venue for it.
Basketball City.
The LED court was super cool.
Yes.
The celebrity game has gotten so much better every single year with more athletes actually doing it.
Yes.
Like CJ Stroud, Michael Parsons.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK. There's a lot of just athletes coming in to do it. Back in the day, it was just singers and everything like that.
You got Quavo in this.
Hey, he's nice. Justin Bieber was hooping in the All-Star game.
You got Jester the Laser.
He's not good. Chris Brown was in the All-Star game a couple years ago. He's a hooper. So seeing guys like football players and baseball players come over and do it, it's really great to see.
You know who I would love to see do the Celebrity All-Star game? Be Adam Levine. If you've
Yeah,
ever seen videos, Adam Levine is a shooter. He can play.
There would definitely be some people I like seeing it. Probably just more of rappers and things like that. But I just think sometimes they throw some random people in there. And I'm like, listen, I don't even know who that is. Mm-hmm. And first of all, everybody already picked up a basketball before. Yeah. Kai Cenat, it was cool that he was in it. He's so bad that it wasn't even fun to watch him play.
He's 5'3",
if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but put Duke in there over Kai. I'd rather see Duke in there.
Because Duke can play.
Exactly. But back to the, making, a lot of people also complain about the All-Star games not being competitive. I'm one of those people that's it's fun to watch for a little bit. That's why I like the target score thing. They started back in 2020, I think. And it was cool to watch because, the first half, they're just messing around. It's fun, it's entertaining. And then you get to the second half and it's okay, let's ramp up the defense. And I remember it was when Paul George was still in the Thunder, actually, when they started it. So it was 2019. Because I remember they were wearing those white jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was going into the halftime, they were full court pressing and trapping, and I was just I love this. This is exactly what I want. But one thing I think they can besides that, I think the USA versus the world, I think that would be a great All-Star game.
I agree. So I think majority of the top 10 NBA players in the league right now, majority would probably be foreign, right?
Well, it depends on where you want to put people at.
Right. But even just saying, so you have the top 5 best foreign players in the All-Star game. What's the rest of the roster going to look like? Because if you're going to have Luka, Embiid, and that starting 5, and then what if your 6th man is Franz Wagner or?
At the same time, though, I mean, you could. So if you really wanted to get technical, Kyrie was born in Australia.
Kyrie, Ben Simmons.
You can take Kyrie, Shea. I mean, Lou Dort. It also gives opportunity to more guys who. I'm not saying like everybody deserves to be in the All-Star game, but it does give that opportunity for more guys to play. Like Lou Dort probably never gonna make an All-Star team.
No.
Franz Wagner maybe. And then there's just guys like that. You got Dylan Brooks. I mean, he's a Canadian. Jamal Murray. I mean, this gives. I mean, the Canadian team alone is a team of
Absolutely.
dogs. You throw in Jokic, Giannis, Luka, even Jovic from the Heat. Like, there's just so many guys. Patty Mills, like, just naming off 4 at this point. But
We've seen when the FIBA World League comes on.
Wemby, Bol.
Patty Mills plays better than only anybody in the world when the FIBA World comes around.
I mean, imagine a starting line of, let's say, like, Jamal Murray, Shea, and then Luka, Giannis, or Luka, Embiid, Jokic as a starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're bench, you can have Giannis, you can have Wemby. Like, that's a killer team right there. And then on the world, I'd make it like a 10-man roster. And then on the USA, obviously we know who's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't even gotta talk about that, but that roster is gonna be insane. And then if Kyrie does go over to the world, they get even better.
That's even crazier.
So I think that is definitely a way the NBA should shift, honestly.
I agree, bringing the target score back would be phenomenal. Like you said, the competitiveness would come back and bring more life to the event. I personally enjoy watching the more slow pace, laid back, kind of have fun with it because it is put on a show.
Yeah.
That's what Shaq says. And I like just seeing crazy athletes, big shooters, just having fun with it. But I can understand where the lack of competitiveness takes the spark out of it. I can understand why they want
That's where the target score thing works, I think.
Yes.
First half, they mess around. Second half, they lock in and go get it done. And it's nice to see like the excitement from the players, when the one team would win. I personally would rather bring back the East versus West style of it instead of doing like just picking.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this year, the East versus West, because I think it makes it more like earning.
Yeah.
Like, because the West has always been, everybody's been saying the West has always been better than the East. And I think it's nice to see like the East win and everybody just going crazy for it. So I think that's some ways they can change it. Is the NBA probably going to do it? Adam Silver's NBA era has definitely been one of the best eras of like implementing things. He actually listens kind of to the outsideness of things.
Yeah.
And I really do like that. And I think just the longer it goes, the better it's going to get.
If the first year of the play-in tournament can be as successful as it was, people love the in-season tournament. It gave it another edge to it, something else to play for.
And everybody's going to hate it. Everybody talks so bad about it.
I was one of them.
And the Lakers ended up winning it.
They did.
And I think the whole thing all around was just a competitive thing. You can definitely tell there were some teams who were like,
whatever.
But the teams that were bought in, it was nice to watch.
I don't think nobody thought it was going to be predictable to predict who's going to make it to the finals of that.
No, I mean, we couldn't even.
Who thought Indiana was going to make it and have the run that they did with the growth of Tyrese Halliburton and that young team?
Yeah.
It's awesome to see.
Yeah, I think the in-season tournament was a great idea. I'm really happy they implemented it, and I can't wait to see it grow. I'm sure they're going to implement new things every year. I'm just hoping the NBA can turn into like just an entertainment thing. Like I can see it going that direction. It's kind of already started going that direction.
Because they're owned by Disney.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Adam Silver has done great things. And I think he can also make All-Star Weekend great again.
Absolutely.
After All-Star break, I think it's really been it's only been like 10 games since All-Star Weekend?
10, 15, yeah.
And I think this second half has already been more exciting than the first half of the season.
I agree.
I mean, we've seen OKC, Denver, and the Timberwolves go back and forth between the 1 seed all year. and OKC had it for one night here recently, and they lost to the Lakers, gave it back up. I'm just interesting to see who's going to have it at the end of the year. But question, right now, who is your MVP? Who's your number one?
Had he finished the season, I definitely think it would have been Embiid.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Okay.
That December run put him over the edge.
Right. As of right now, I think it's only between two people. I think it's between Shea and Jokic. Shea because it's the youngest team in the NBA, fighting for number one seed consistently.
Was predicted to win 22 games last year.
And
exceeded that.
And they doubled that, and then some.
And then they've already won as many games this year as they have.
Absolutely. But I mean, Jokic is the best player in the world. You can't stop Jokic. It's kind of somebody that goofy you can't stop. It just doesn't make sense. I think if Shea doesn't win it this year, I think he'll win it next. He would be my pick next year for sure.
So here's how I see it. Obviously,
but right now I pick Jokic.
Yeah. Obviously, big Thunder fan. I'm on the side with my guy Shea, but I think the only way he brings it home is if OKC is the 1 seed.
I can see the argument for that.
Because even for the 2 seed and Jokic is right behind us, I can still see them giving it to him because they're not bought into Shea yet.
Yeah.
But I think if, let's say the Timberwolves, lose 2 games in a row, we win 3 games in a row. We take over it and we defend it, and we can go on a run to end the season and, be the 1 seed. I think he has it in the bag. I don't see how you can't give it to him if they're the 1 seed.
So I know MVP's always regular. People will make fun of it when the MVP doesn't perform well in the playoffs. Like, oh, this person should have won MVP. Well, it's a regular season award.
Yeah.
So my question is, because there's been some thoughts like, well, they give the MVP to somebody who isn't going to choke in the playoffs, right? So what if, say, the Thunder do finish? Let's say they finish first. And let's just say they play the Mavericks in the 8th seed. If they lose that first round matchup, say like 4-1, 4-2, would that hurt Shea's reasoning for him winning MVP?
It should.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But there's always, I think, at least.
But if you want to look at it like that, we can talk about Jokic's MVPs. We can talk about Russell Westbrook MVP. We can talk about James Harden MVP. Those are guys who didn't. I mean, Russ performed well in the playoffs. His team was just very subpar. He was, the lowest seed to win the MVP at that point. And then Jokic turned around and the same thing as a 6th seed. James Harden, I'm pretty sure I see they went to the Western Conference Finals.
They were 2 or 3.
I'm pretty sure 3.
Yeah.
But they didn't perform well once they got to that game time, they didn't perform well. James Harden has been known not to do well in the playoffs.
Yes.
Still brought home the MVP. Russell Westbrook broke triple-double record in the regular season, got the regular season MVP. Jokic went on a tear 2 years in a row, went back-to-back with not great playoff success. Back-to-back years.
Injury-revealed loss.
Back-to-back years of getting eliminated in the first round and still brought home the MVP. So I don't think it should matter. Can I see them pulling that to not let Shea? I'm not saying there's a big net against Shea. I'm just saying people probably don't want to see him win it.
I can understand why.
People think the Thunder are pretenders, not contenders. I think it's too early to say that because we may have lost, to the Lakers, the Spurs, but every top team has dropped a game to a subpar team.
Absolutely.
We've seen the Celtics almost be the third team of the year to lose to the Pistons in overtime, and they're now on a 11 or 12 game winning streak, and as the 1 seed in the East with 47 games won.
With a chance to...
They've already clinched the postseason.
Right.
They're the only team to clinch the postseason so far.
With a chance to go on and win all the rest of their games. That's how good they are.
So you can't say the Thunder are pretenders because they've lost to some not saying the Lakers or Spurs are subpar, but they are lower ranked teams. Can they be better teams? Can the Lakers make a playoff push? Yes. But we beat Denver 3 out of 1 times. I'm 2 out of 1 maybe. I know we were winning the season series. At one game we won by 25 plus. We've beaten the Celtics once, I believe.
Yes.
We've beaten the Bucks. We've beaten the Timberwolves. Like, we are beating the top teams, and we're also beating the lower level teams. So
I would say you're supposed to beat up on the teams you're supposed to beat up on.
And we are beating those top tier teams. I mean, the Clippers have beat us once this year. I mean, the one time we played them, we beat them by 23. So Me personally, if I'm OKC, the teams I don't want to see in the first round, LA Clippers. It sounds crazy, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Nuggets in the first round. Just because we played so well against them in the regular season.
What are the chances the Nuggets drop that far, though?
It's not a good chance, but I don't want to see the Kings because we do not compete well against. We may be able to compete better now that we have like Biyombo off the bench, but when Chet comes out of the game, it's hard to put a center in there who can compete with Sabonis or compete with JaVale McGee. Or like we saw the other night against the Lakers. When Chet comes out of the game, AD goes on a tear.
Yeah.
And with Chet in the game playing more minutes than he's used to, he's winded, he's gassed, he can't keep up.
Yeah.
And I think we got to give Gordon Hayward more minutes.
Just hasn't played that well though.
But he's not getting chances.
I mean, the chances he has.
You can't play Mike Muscala over Gordon Hayward.
What someone said, I did see someone tweet on Twitter, like, what if you benched Giddey and you slid and Muscala was, your starting power forward?
No, why would you? Mike Muscala played good for us last year when we weren't even a well-known team. And I think it's because teams did not care to play. Like, they didn't care if they won or lost against us. And Mike Muscala would have good moments. But at the same time, I'm not starting him over anybody on our starting lineup right now.
You wouldn't even entertain the idea of starting him over Josh Giddey?
No.
You guys, Giddey's having
Josh
playing
Giddey
24 minutes a game.
Josh Giddey was our best player against the Lakers. he had 12 points in the first half, all right? He had more points than Shea did in the first half. He was carrying us against the Lakers. And the reason the Lakers beat us isn't because, they're a veteran team or because they have a big. I think the sole reason was because they were just hot. I mean, D'Lo.
It's been unbelievable.
That might be the best I've seen D'Lo play since his tenure on the Brooklyn Nets. Was that game. Those 4 threes he hit were some of the toughest threes I've ever seen hit in my life. And they were on it. A really good defender of Jalen Williams with a long wingspan. He was there on both of them, on all of them.
What I love, especially with watching, I watched the majority of the Lakers games. I've only missed a handful of games. But since the trade deadline talks of trading D'Lo, he got benched. He came off the bench against the Thunder the first time they played. D'Lo's been unbelievable. Turnovers are down. Efficiency is way up. Better defender. And then, like you said, the three-point shooting has been unbelievable.
Yeah, and like I said, you look at the MVP race right now, the NBA is saying it's Jokic, Shea, Giannis. I wouldn't even put Giannis top 3.
Really?
He's been injured a couple times. When he's playing great. But it's really, and they are the 2 seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's still hard for me to say that Giannis is having a better season than Luka.
Luka is having an
individual season-wise.
Luka's having an all-time offensive year.
And the thing is, you take Giannis off the Bucks. They still play good because they have Dame, they have Malik Beasley, they have Brook Lopez. They have these guys. When Luka isn't playing, the Mavericks aren't playing good.
No.
I mean, Kyrie is trying.
Yeah.
And they've won some games without Luka, but obviously they're a way better team when Luka's
Absolutely.
there. I would trust the Bucks more with Dame and no Giannis than I would trust the Mavericks with no Luka.
I would agree with that, but we've also seen now 2 games in the last week. Luka's had over almost 40-point triple-doubles, and they've gotten beat by 15-plus both times.
But at the same time, the surrounding isn't great. I mean,
it's better than what it was.
Yeah, it's a lot better than what it was. The start of the season,
I think part of that is Jason Kidd's fault because his rotations have been very questionable.
Which is very surprising because he's been a great coach for the Mavericks over the past, about 4 years that he's been there. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's hard for me to put Luka to be the MVP though, because yes, he's the most valuable player on his team. But like you said, they're getting blown out still, even with him playing. The Thunder, I listened to Gilbert Arenas, his podcast. He said Shea is the most valuable player because at one point he was the second oldest guy on this young team. He's 25. Last year they were not supposed to win more than 20 games. They won 40. This year they've surpassed that. He has led a team of just young, hungry guys to the 1 seed and 2 seed interchangeable when they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
And if Shea's not there, that doesn't happen.
I agree.
So that's what makes Shea the most valuable player. And when he's not playing, you take Shea off the court, yeah, they still play good, but it's not
It's
anything.
nowhere near.
Exactly. Like, I think he is the most valuable player because the Nuggets still play good even when Jokic isn't there. DeAndre Jordan has had a great year off the bench for the Nuggets, especially when Jokic isn't playing. I'm pretty sure like him and Reggie Jackson combined for like 63 points that one night.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at the teams, if you look at the numbers, I think Shea's the MVP. And especially if they can stay at a 1 or 2 seed and stay above the Nuggets, I don't see why they don't. I don't see why they don't give it to him.
I would still pick Jokic right now, but I would not be mad one bit if Shea wins it because he's got the great argument. Stats are phenomenal. Efficiency is through the roof. He's a phenomenal defender, leading the NBA in steals.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a first team all defense.
Absolutely.
If he's not, last year he definitely should. Last year he should have been.
If Derek White can be first team all defense, then Shea can be.
Shea should have made it on at least second team last year. Him and Lou Dort both. Either one of them made it. They should both.
Has Dort ever made all defense?
No. And Jalen Williams has a case too.
Absolutely.
We could have a whole roster.
The 3 different teams.
We could have a whole 4 or 5 of Thunder players on the second team.
Chet is top 2 in blocks.
Chet and Shea should definitely be first team all defense this year.
Absolutely.
Especially because it's positionless now. You can put whoever you want.
Yeah.
And that takes me to my next point. The Rookie of the Year race, we know Wemby's in it right now. We know it's Wemby's award. Beginning of the first half of the season, it was close. Like, there was times where Chet was just outplaying Wemby. When they played against each other, the only time they ever played good against each other was this last matchup when the Spurs won, and Wemby had 27 and Chet had 23. Other than that, they usually don't score against each other. But I think when Wemby had the 10 block triple double game, I think that pushed him over the edge and gave him the lead in the Rookie of the Year race. And for Chet to bring it back, I don't know what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna have some phenomenal games against big time names, like big games against Jokic, which he has done that already. But I don't know if they play against Spurs and the Thunder.
I don't know.
If they do, he's going to have to win that matchup by a big margin.
Yeah.
He's going to have to outperform Wemby by a lot, and it's just hard to do that. We've seen Alfred Sengun do it last night, though. 45 point, was a triple-double as well, wasn't it?
I think so.
45-point triple-double.
16 rebounds.
Against arguably a top 3, not even arguably, a top 3 defender in the league, post defender in the league. But obviously, I'd love for Chet to win the Rookie of the Year, but I just don't see it happening.
It's so dumb seeing how people think he's not a rookie. He never played an NBA game, let alone even practice in an NBA facility.
Yeah, he was on a walking. He's not even a walking boot. He was on a scooter
for 7 months.
We went to the game against Utah, which was like a year ago, a couple of days ago, and he was still in a boot.
Yeah,
like he would shoot in pregame with his Nike Tech on and just out there throwing up shots with one hand. Like he's a rookie. He's a rookie, and I don't know if people try to change that.
What is the difference? So people can acknowledge that Blake Griffin was a rookie or Ben Simmons.
Okay, people did argue Ben Simmons though, for Donovan Mitchell's sake. People were arguing it. Donovan Mitchell wore that hoodie, definition of a rookie. But Ben Simmons played like 8 games, but that's not enough.
Yes.
But it's whatever. People can say what they want. Obviously they're wrong, but I think at this point, I just don't see Chet outplaying Wemby enough to bring the voters back this way.
But like you said, first half of the season, I think Chet should have won it just because of the efficiency standpoint, and it was third option scoring.
He was 40-90 for 2 months.
Right. I think, but Chet also in January didn't have the best offensive month. Was still good defensively, but the efficiency went down in January, came back up in February. But I think, like when Wemby had the 10+ triple-double or 10-block triple-double, and then he's had some crazy more stat lines.
The 5x5 stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the thing is, I'm just going to call you out. You didn't believe the hype for Wemby.
I didn't.
And
he still has his moments when you put a
show. Yeah. But he's going to be great in this league. He already is. And the Spurs are just on. Pop just signed an extension.
Pop ain't leaving no time soon.
I would, because if they can bring in like a Trae Young, if they can bring in, you don't like him?
No, that'd be perfect.
Say him and Wemby together would be like John Collins times 10.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine Trae Young throwing lobs to Wemby every time on the court?
How are you supposed to stop that?
Either you're going to let Trae shoot from the logo, or you're going to have to let Wemby get it done.
Or you're just going to let Trae shoot floaters, which
exactly.
is elite.
that'd be so dangerous. I mean, you see Wemby do well with Trey Jones. I mean, imagine that's Trey Young.
Yeah.
It's just, I just don't see the Spurs. They haven't really made a lot of great moves with their front office in a long time.
I think they've got solid pieces, but they don't have the two that can put the bat or the Robin for Batman being Wemby.
And they don't pass him the ball.
No.
It's like they don't want to see him succeed. Like there's so many times he's cutting wide. Like he's 7'4". Throw that thing up there and let him go get it.
Yeah.
If I'm Jeremy Sohan or Sochan, whatever his name is, I'm throwing it up every single time and letting him go get it because somebody might be able to out-jump him, but they're not going to out-wingspan him.
No.
He's bringing it down every single time. And if he doesn't, great. We're going to run it again on the way back.
We're not going to stop.
I mean, but yeah, I think he solidified himself as the Rookie of the Year and a future face of the league.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun to see, what it brings in the next couple of years. And I'm happy he worked out.
Yeah.
I'm happy him and Chet are staying healthy. Knock on wood.
Just played.
He's played every single game, 61 games.
We said, how does Mikal Bridges
do
do
it every year?
Yeah.
But it's great to see Chet healthy. It's great to see Wemby healthy.
Abraham Lincoln.
Some other rookies that probably be Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for those two. Jaime Jaquez.
It's phenomenal. He said he could win 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah, Asar Thompson, Amin Thompson even. They both have been playing great on their teams. Amin has done great on the Rockets. That's one of the Rockets, right? Yeah, he has done great on the Rockets. I think if Cam Whitmore wouldn't have played in the G League all year, he would be up there.
Yes.
He's been great when he has played.
Cam has showed some insane flashes.
Yeah, Brandon Miller would be no question Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for those two.
Do you think Brandon Miller would have won Rookie of the Year last year?
Over Paulo?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Paulo just had two.
I agree.
Paulo had two
I think Paulo
good
would have
years.
won still.
I think if you take out Wemby and you put Paulo in this class with Chet, I think Chet takes you over Paulo.
Okay.
But Scoop has been very underwhelming, can't stay healthy, had a horrible start to his NBA career.
He's been better. Point guard is probably the hardest position to play.
I don't think he's not a good enough shooter to be a shooting guard.
Right. I say if he ever figures out the jump shot.
He really reminds me of Russell Westbrook, a young Russell Westbrook. That's literally what he reminds me of.
I would argue John Wall, because John Wall's never been a great shooter.
But he's a better shooter than Russell Westbrook, I think, from the three.
John Wall is?
From the three.
Oh.
As a bring down the court and shoot it shooter, I think.
I can understand that.
But when I see Scoot play, like the passing, the way he moves, like it literally just looks like I'm watching 2011 Russ on the court.
He's just so young.
And he's so bulky. Like he doesn't need to be able to shoot.
He's already got the physique.
He needs to use his size to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna figure it out. I think he'll be fine.
Especially having Chauncey Billups.
Especially having Chauncey.
Just getting older with Simons.
Yeah, and Sharp. Yeah.
Shaden Sharp. I'm just saying, Shaden Sharp might be the next Paul George. I'm just saying. I know he's had some injury problems this year, but when he's on the floor at 20 years old, that kid is insane.
He jumps out of the gym.
Oh my gosh.
He the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Him and Simon both the dunk contest.
Crazy to think that he never played a game of college basketball.
Yeah.
He's still drafted top 10 overall.
The rookies, this is a good class.
Yeah.
This is one of the best classes we have. I think, this year everybody's saying, like, the draft class is weak. I just think it's not weak. I think it's just there's not one guy who stands out.
There's lots of quality guys.
Like, I think no matter who you pick, 1 through 30, you can't go wrong in this upcoming draft.
I agree.
Because it's a very deep draft. It's a very first round heavy draft, but not a very top 3 pick heavy.
No.
I like that, honestly. Because I like going into the draft, man, who's going to go number 1?
I've seen mocks with Cody Williams maybe going 1. Matas, the kid from France. There's a kid from France I saw in an NBA mock that was could have projected to go number 1.
Sar's been projected to go 1.
Right.
Like, it's just, I've even seen Reed Shepard and Rob Dillingham listed at 2 and 3 after their last game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just hard to say.
Even if you can get Kyle Filipowski.
If I'm OKC, that's who I'm going after.
Kyle Filipowski?
Yeah.
Like, if you can get him in a top 20, he's probably top 25.
Yeah. I'd say top 15.
Right. Like, that's phenomenal value.
And he's 7 foot tall, athletic. That's
decent defender.
He would fit well.
Absolutely, and he's big too.
Jared McCain, another great player. Had a phenomenal season.
Rob Dillingham might be the best college basketball player, and he's coming off the bench.
Him and Reed both come off the bench.
That's crazy to think about.
And they are both phenomenal. That's my pick to win it all this year is Kentucky. They
just keep pumping out factory.
They have an amazing team. But yeah, this upcoming draft is going to be exciting. We haven't really had, the Chet Holmgren draft, nobody knew who was going to go number 1, I think. I think everybody thought Jabari Smith was going number 1. They surprised us, Paulo. But
he's been phenomenal.
If I was a team if I'm Magic, I'm looking at Paulo or Chet. I wasn't bought in on Jabari. I'm really still not. He's playing good.
He's all right.
But I think OKC and Orlando are happy with the decision they made.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But 6th man of the year, another great race this year. I was really betting on Russell Westbrook winning it. Since he got the hand injury, I don't think he's going to win it.
No.
Jaime Jaquez, he might have it in the bag, but I think Norman Powell can pull it out.
I think Norman Powell. I also think Malik Monk
probably going to win it.
I think Malik Monk is the best 6th man of the year or 6th man candidate. Jaime's been awesome.
I think Russ probably would have won it if he would have broke his hand, just because of how much he's helped the Clippers succeed, and just because he was very unselfish and put himself in that spot. Like, it wasn't, you're going to be the 6th man.
Right. I think somebody else that could have been dark horse to win it, but they played too many games as a starter, would be Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal, just played too many games as a starter because the Knicks are absolutely riddled with injuries right now. I think he could have been top 5 in that race, but as of right now, I think Malik would win it.
I think it's going to Malik. I think Norm has put on a great show, but I think kind of Russ, I'm not saying overshadowed, but definitely was pulling for it more than Norm was when he was playing. And I think, Malik had a great.
I think Russ has been more consistent than Norm has too.
Yeah, definitely. And he's played more games this year. Norm was out for a little bit with the face injury. Got a big old scar down the middle of his face now. But so going into the Clippers more, who is your finals pick? Who are you taking out of the East and West to beat up?
Well, if the Knicks were healthy, I would say the East ECF, depending on how the bracket shakes out because of injuries with seeding and everything, I would pick the Celtics and the Knicks to be ECF. I don't think the Sixers have enough, especially Embiid cannot come back.
He's talking like he wants to.
If I'm him,
I'm not,
right?
Don't risk it.
Why would you? That seems insane, right?
The thing is, the same thing that happens every year is happening this year. Jimmy Butler's averaging 21 points per game before All-Star break, and he's averaging 26 points a game after All-Star break. They are on a run.
What team has been the number 1 thorn in the Celtics side for the last 3 years?
And they beat the Bucks the other night.
Yeah.
Who is going to stop playoff Jimmy this year?
And Miami.
Anybody?
Miami is deeper this year.
Was a great pickup.
Yes, and Miami is deeper this year. Terry Rozier.
Once come playoff time, it's going to be interesting to see how it happens. But
what would you think come playoff time if Spoelstra decides to change it? What do you think their starting lineup would be?
Right now, if I'm Eric Spoelstra,
who would be the point guard?
I'm running Terry Rozier at my point guard. I'm going to run Tyler Hero at my 2. I'm probably going to bring Duncan off the bench. I'm going to run Jimmy at the 3. I personally would bring Bam at the 4 and Thomas Bryant at the 5. Just because
Thomas can shoot.
Yeah, and he's a corner shooter, and I think Bam is a very underrated because he doesn't shoot a lot of threes because Eric Spoelstra doesn't run that.
Yeah.
But I think if they would let him, I think it would take a lot of teams off guard if you see Bam Adebayo hit a wing through. Because he can do it in the All-Star game.
He got a decent jump shot.
And if you watch his old high school and college clips, he was a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would shake some things up, and it wouldn't surprise me if Spoelstra pulls something out.
Absolutely. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they kept Caleb Martin in because Caleb's always been solid since he's been a part of the
But he's also really good off the bench.
He is.
Really good. You also got Kevin Love, who could also sneak in that starting lineup.
Kevin Love's always great passer, good shooter.
They're a deep team. Do I think they can win it all? Honestly, I don't know. Because
there's only one team.
Nobody thought they were going to make it last year, and they made it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think out of the West, personally, I'm an OKC fan. But out of all the teams in the West, I want to see the Clippers win it all this year. Because they're aging. Only one person on that team has a ring, and it's Kawhi Leonard with 2. I mean, you get Russ's first ring, Paul George's first ring, James Harden his first ring, guys like that. That's what people want to see. And I think it'd be great for basketball in general if those guys got their ring.
I think it'd be phenomenal if we got a Clippers-Lakers series in the playoffs.
Yeah, the the Lakers, I'm not saying they're not a good team, obviously are, but they're so inconsistent in the regular season. Like, D'Lo and Bron and AD combine for 80 one night, and the next night, Bron doesn't play, AD plays limited minutes, and D'Lo has 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't think they were going to make it far last year and make the Western Conference Finals. But I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. And it's just hard for me to give AD his flowers in the playoffs.
I think the Lakers we've had, I'm not using excuse, but had tons of injuries.
Yeah. I mean,
no Christian
what's
Wood,
his name?
Vando.
Gabe
Vincent.
Yeah, Gabe
He's
Vincent.
even if he's healthy, he's probably not playing the rest of the year.
He's barely played all year.
Yeah, even because he just wouldn't fit in the rotation.
Yeah.
I mean,
Vando's a big loss, though.
I think, Cam's missed time, but when Cam plays, Cam is very impactful.
He's a damn good defender.
He's shoot the ball much better.
I would trust him to guard the best players every night.
Cam just needed a chance.
Max Christie, great defender.
I love Max Christie.
I love watching him play defense.
He's so good.
He is like textbook feet movement defender.
I think from what I've watched, I would say this starting lineup has had the most success. D'Lo, Reeves, Bron, Rui, AD. The bench has been better. Jackson Hayes, they've staggered the minutes with the point guards. I think Jackson Hayes has been phenomenal, high effort guy off the bench. Torian Prince has been playing better. He's having a career year shooting the ball from 3. Cam's been good. Max has been good. There's just a lot of guys they can throw in there that are pretty seamless. 3-and-D guys just say, all right, you have your 2 guys, your 2 roles, excel in that.
Yeah, I mean, how I look at it though, I think the Clippers are too deep. There's 20 games left in the season. Russ, they said he had surgery on Monday. They say he's going to be back in the playoffs. If you get him back in it's his left hand too. You don't even need to worry about that. And I mean, nobody wants to see that. I think that's the one team that nobody wants to see in a 7-game series is the Clippers.
Especially with Ty Lue as the head coach.
Because I mean, they've been phenomenal all year. They're a top 4 seed. They've been interchangeable with the Nuggets in the 3 and 4 all year. And if they can just keep winning, they beat Timberwolves the other night. That was a very low-scoring game.
Yeah.
88-89, but they pulled it out. And James Harden, ever since they went on that 8-game losing streak or 6-game losing streak, whatever it was when he first got there, has turned it around completely. I don't think they're good, but I never thought he was going to be bought into the Clippers.
I don't either.
And he is. And it's been phenomenal to watch. And Kawhi Leonard, probably top 7 in the MVP race this year, maybe top 5. Paul George has been consistent as always.
23, 24 games, just phenomenal.
Exactly. And Amir Coffey has been great. The 3 bigs, Plumlee, Tice, and Zoo have been killing it. They're a very hard team to score on and a very hard team to stop.
The only thing I think the Clippers would have problems with is that they face an elite pick and roll team especially because
that's not against the Suns last year.
Because Zoo is not most athletic.
But I think bringing a guy like Tice helps with that. Because I think he's a little more athletic than Zoo and can guard the perimeter a little bit better.
And he can shoot too.
Yeah, and he does. He's been shooting well. And that was a problem against the Suns last year. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard was hurt, Paul George was hurt, but even when it was Kawhi, when it was just Russ and Norm, I mean, they only lost by 7 to 11 points each game, and there was a lot of those times they're running a pick and roll when Russ is guarding deep Book, and you got Zoo coming up, and he's not coming up far enough because he comes up too far. Book's going right around him.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody sliding over in the paint, and KD's wide open in the corner. Kicking it out to KD, Josh Okogie, you're kicking it out to whoever is over there that's open, and they're going to knock it down. Especially this year with guys like Grayson Allen on the roster and
Eric Gordon
and Bradley Beal. I mean, it's just gonna be hard to match up with
the playoffs. Especially with the way Nurkic has been playing.
31 rebounds was insane. The crazy thing was Thunder were out rebounding them in the first half alone, but Nurkic still had 31 boards in the whole game. And I'm pretty sure they ended up out rebounding OKC by 7 forwards. It's ridiculous that Nurkic had that much, and they still lost. But my pick to win it all, if I'm just not being biased, I'm going to have to say I'm hoping for a Clippers Celtics matchup in the finals or a Clippers-Bucks matchup, I think those would be both really entertaining finals. But I'm taking it. I'm taking the Clippers to win it all.
So I would say
I'd love to see OKC make a run.
Right.
I'm not doubting them out, but I want the Clippers. I see the Clippers.
I think the team that matches up the best with Boston is Minnesota, schematically.
Yeah, it's just
Minnesota's offense has been really bad.
They're a really good defensive team.
They're the number 1 defensive team in the league.
But they're very inconsistent on offense.
Yes.
Rudy had like 25 the other night. Then he'll have a night where he has 0, but also has 5 blocks, and they lose. But it's just hard to match up with 2 bigs like that, and then also worry about Ant Edwards.
Yes.
Then also you got Nas Reed off the bench, and you got Kyle Anderson. It's hard to worry about guys like that because Nas Reed not only can beat you at the rim, but he's also going to knock down a corner 3. And it's hard for somebody to match up with them. But the Celtics shouldn't. If the Celtics don't win it all this year, I'm giving up on them.
This is what the eighth year in a row you've had a competitive roster.
This is the best roster they've had
Maybe ever.
I would say that Kyrie, Gordon, everyone was better, but they were both unhealthy in the playoffs because that roster was deep. I mean, they had Terry off. Like they probably would have won it all if they didn't get hurt.
Terry, Marcus Morris.
That team was deep, but this team is phenomenal, and they proved it in the regular season. They prove it every year in the regular season. When it comes playoff time, they just can't handle it. The lights are too bright.
So I saw a statistic a few days ago. So of all the playoff games Jason Tatum has played in, 33% of the time he shoots below 40% in the field. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of Jason Tatum going out there and having a very, very subpar to bad game. So I mean, Tatum is. We want Tatum to be the
I
alpha.
want him to be great. I want him to be great.
But he just hasn't shown it consistently.
And
especially in the finals when you got manhandled the way he did. Granted,
first 2 games were great.
right.
But then taking the 2 games against the Warriors was probably 2 of the best finals I've ever seen. But the fact that they let that Warriors team win 4 in a row was despicable.
Yes.
It was disgusting to watch. Curry torched them. He got clamped up by Wiggins. I mean, Andrew Wiggins probably isn't going to play that good again the rest of his career.
Probably not.
But he got it done when it mattered.
Mhm.
Jason Tatum can't do that.
Warriors may not win that series without Andrew Wiggins.
No, I don't think they do. And the fact that they're going to have Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown's very wishy-washy.
Al Horford.
Al Horford has, in his old age, is still playing great. If they don't win it this year, everything they did to get here was a waste. Getting Kristaps, trading away your franchise player to Marcus Smart, like it was a waste. I don't want that to happen, but then again, I don't want them to win it because we'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
But nobody should be surprised if they do because they have, I believe, the best team all around besides the Clippers. That team is just too hard to beat, the Celtics.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when are they going to step it up in the playoffs?
Yeah.
You got beat by an 8 seed last year.
So Jaylen Brown might have another 10 turnover game.
Like, he still has issues with that left hand. It's not even a joke at this point. It was a meme, but he literally can't do anything with it, and it doesn't make sense to me. How you're an NBA player, and you can't cross over left to right.
Right.
I mean, it's tough to watch sometimes. But for the Celtics fans' sake and the organization's sake, and for Kristaps Porzingis' sake, I hope they make a run. I hope they win it all. Because
Hang on. If they lose, they say, all right, we're going to trade everybody. OKC, Kristaps. Hey,
I wouldn't mind it.
yeah.
But yeah, the Celtics. People that think the Celtics aren't pretenders, I think they are pretenders sometimes because we haven't seen them do anything.
No.
They made the finals, yes. They didn't do anything. They made some noise. It wasn't enough. You got cooked by Jordan Poole. I mean, don't get me wrong. JP's a great player. He played great as he came off the bench too. Had 23 points in 9 minutes the other night. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the Celtics are pretenders in my eyes.
I agree. Just haven't seen the consistency and just play down to their competition when they should blow them out. It doesn't. It's
That's
not.
a trend in the NBA. I feel like it happens a lot. I mean,
You think you have an easy night off, and
we've seen it against the Pistons.
the Pistons are going to play hard.
They went into overtime
Yeah.
with the Pistons when that game should have been a 40-point blowout.
Absolutely.
And we've seen the Celtics get blown out as well. And it's just, but they have had the 3 50-point blowout, not 50, yeah, 50-point blowouts this year, which is impressive.
Yeah, man, pretty crazy. I'm watching Celtics and Warriors, and
I did look at the score, and it was 72-39.
Like,
8 minutes to go in the second quarter, and I was just like, nobody is talking about this. But that's what I'm saying. They can do that, and then they get to the playoffs and they crumble. But so, who was your pick to win it all overall in the finals?
I still pick Denver.
Denver, back to back.
Yeah. Just because the team chemistry, I know the depth isn't phenomenal night in, night out. It's questionable some nights, but the culture they have there, Mike Malone, one of the best coaches in the NBA. You have the best player in the world, maybe the best pure number 2 in the world in playoff time when you're with Murray. MPJ is better defensively. I don't know why the Lakers can't beat them, but the other night, MPJ literally couldn't miss if he tried.
25 points, 10 for 10.
Yeah.
Hey, 4 assists.
Right. He passed it. And then Aaron Gordon just embraces whatever role he's
I'm
given.
so happy he's been playing good. Like I'm so happy he got his ring.
Yes.
You know, with the Magic, he was always great. But I honestly never seen him stepping up into this role. But you know, prove me wrong.
Phenomenal defender.
Him and Jokic with that backside picking.
Oh my
backside
gosh.
off, every time it's automatic.
Yes.
Jokic fakes the floater, hits, because he's in the short corner. Nobody sees it. They're focused on Jokic and Murray, and it's right over the top. But yeah, I mean, I think my dark horse to win it, obviously OKC. I mean, yes, they're young, but come playoff time, I think we'll see some. You know, I think SGA playoff time.
There should be no doubt that SGA is going to perform or not.
Exactly. They're like, oh, he's not going to get the foul calls. SGA leads the league in drives. Of course he's going to have more foul calls.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to get the line more. And there are some times, you know, he does, you know, draw the contact, maybe sells it, but every NBA player does it. Every basketball player does it.
Yeah.
I mean, but he is consistent at the line. He's consistent on his drives. He's becoming a way better shooter from the three-point line. And J-Dub, I don't see him just crumbling in playoffs. Yes, he didn't play. Nobody played great against the Lakers the other night. That was probably our worst shooting performance all
They're
year.
back-to-back, too.
Yeah, another back-to-back. And I think come playoff time, OKC can make a run. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but I think they can shake it up, maybe get the second or third round.
Mm-hmm.
They can definitely do something to prove a name for themselves coming into
I
it.
agree.
But I don't want to see the Kings. That's all I know. But yeah, what you got for us?
Really, I mean, it kind of talks. Really, I mean, I think the play-in tournament of the West is going to be a lot interesting because 6 through 10 is separated by less than 3 games.
Yeah.
Because if the Lakers win tonight, they'll move up to 7 and be tied for 6.
And the Rockets are down there bouncing around.
Right. I mean,
Pelicans are a dangerous team.
why isn't nobody talking about the Pelicans?
Because they're so inconsistent. Because they'll have a night where Brandon Ingram and Zion, you know, combine for 50, and then the next night, one of them doesn't play and they lose by 20.
Yeah.
But come playoff time, I think they have enough vets. I think they have the size to just be. That's another person I would not want to see in the first round as the Pelicans.
A hot and on fire Brandon Ingram is pretty crazy.
That cross and dunk the other night was some of the craziest things I've seen. Definitely going on the highlight reel.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I think the NBA is completely shaken up this year. A lot of storylines that I didn't see coming have happened. I think it's gonna be a great year, great playoffs. I'm all for the regular season, but man, I've been counting down the games.
Absolutely.
The playoffs. I'm like, in 20 games,
Get your popcorn ready.
19 games. Like, I'm going with another playoff game this year. Never been to one before. I'm going. I'm getting. I'll sit in Loud City.
Absolutely.
I don't care. I'm going. If they lose, they lose. I don't care. But I'm excited for playoffs. I cannot wait.
It's gonna be the Kings first round just because you said that.
We don't win. But one thing I want to touch on, the 76ers, they had a really good trade deadline, bringing in like Buddy Hield and things like that. They had practice at his house the other day, but I think that was a really good pickup. Kelly Oubre coming back from that incident where he got hit by the motorcycle. I think if the Sixers had Embiid, they're making a run.
I would say they'd still be better than Boston.
But it's hard for me to also trust the Sixers in the playoffs as much as me. I would trust
True.
Boston more in the playoffs than I would the Sixers. Because the Sixers haven't made it past the second round in a long time.
If the Sixers, I'm gonna look because I wanna be accurate with this. I'm gonna check the East standings real fast because
Pretty sure they're the 6th right now, or 5th.
NBA. Because I don't know how far back. I know they dropped a few.
I'm pretty sure they're 6, 5 or 6.
So Philly is 7.
7. Okay. So,
So-
right now, the Nets didn't pass, did they?
No.
Okay.
Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Orlando is the 4. Knicks, Miami.
Oh, Miami passed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they won the other night.
Philly, Indiana, Chicago, Atlanta.
Indiana's a dark horse in the East to make it into the.
I'm just gonna say it. Atlanta shouldn't even try the rest of the year. It's pretty pointless now. Like the Nets, as bad as the Nets are, should say, "Oh, wait, let's try to just say, oh, we made the play. Fine, you know."
They saw how many picks the Nets did. They don't have any picks to
No,
get
yeah.
in with. They trade them all away.
Yeah.
Forget, bro. They got some back when they sent
They don't have a head coach.
Yeah, John Vaughn was.
No bueno. I just say if Philly makes it in the play as the 8th seed and they play Boston, is there any chance that the Sixers could pull a miracle?
I think there's always a chance.
Right.
But if I'm the Sixers, if I'm Joel Embiid, I'm not coming back unless I make it to the second round.
I would agree.
If they get to the second round without Joel, and he comes back, power to him.
Mhm.
But if I'm him and they're playing,
It would be different if he didn't tear anything in his knee.
if I'm him, I'm not coming back for the playing game. I'm not coming back for the first round.
No.
I'm coming back when I know there's a chance.
You gotta think long-term health too. He's 29, he's like about 275, 280, 280. Like,
He's injury prone
he
already.
is injury prone. I just gotta think long-term health with that too.
He's 28.
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta play it safe.
I'm not rushing it back. I'm not
No.
rushing back, especially if I'm a lower seed.
Say Philly gets swept. Is there any chance Embiid gets dealt next
I think his
offseason?
contract's too big.
That's true, probably true.
They're gonna have to get a huge package back for him. I mean, they got three or four guys just for James Harden. He had a lower, like a $23 million contract. I mean, it's just hard to trade somebody like Embiid. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to trade another superstar or just like 4 role players and some picks, and you're gonna hope you don't go over the tax exemption.
And then congratulations, the team you just traded to. That team has no depth in it.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's probably in the best interest for the Sixers to shop him around, see what's out there, but I don't see
Don't think
that
they pull the
happening.
trigger.
No. But this offseason, where do you see, is kind of my last thing I want to touch on, where do you see LeBron going?
I think he resigns.
Think he resigns?
I think he resigns. I don't even think it has anything to do with Bronny. I think Bronny will. I think if
If I'm Bronny, I'm not declaring
no,
this year.
he's got to stay one more year.
He's pro talent, but the fact that he had the cardiac arrest, missed
Yeah.
7 games of the year, really affected his playing time.
And
He would probably be a starter if that didn't happen. He's averaging like 5 points a game, but he's also a damn good defender.
Absolutely.
But if I'm him, I'm staying another year, and I'm locking in.
And playing behind Isaiah Collins and Boogie Ellis doesn't help you.
And they're gonna get drafted.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna move into that
Boogie
role.
Ellis is tough.
Oh yeah. Collier, I'm not really caught in on him yet. He's been very inconsistent this year. USC is not a great team.
They're not great.
They're-
Which is crazy because they should be able to recruit Californians.
Well, the thing is, Rob Dillingham almost went there. That was one of his top 4 schools that he had because he was committed to NC State
Right.
or SC State, South Carolina State, and then decommitted, and then they're down to 14, which is like Kentucky, USC, and I can't remember the other 2. I want to say one of them was Kansas, but I can't remember the 4th. And he went to Kentucky, obviously. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
But imagine him on that USC team. That would be insane if he
Yeah.
chose that. But
They have no bigs.
But you think LeBron's coming back to the Lakers?
I do. I mean, he'll get the probably. I think they said like 3 years, like $120 million, something like that, 110, something like that. Which because they have flexibility next year because they re-signed everybody
Yeah.
last year, so they can still go out, retool the roster, have their first round pick they can trade. I think they should let Wood walk, like keep Hayes because Hayes is younger and he plays better. He's a better defender, but I think LeBron stays and they run it back one more time. Because, like I said, when they've been healthy, they've beaten everybody except Denver.
Yeah.
They beat the Celtics with no Bron and no AD in Boston
That was a nice one.
by 15 points.
Yeah. But also Paul George, if you're him and James Harden, the Clippers, let's say they don't win it. Let's say they make it to the Western Conference Finals or even the Finals. Let's say they lose, right, in one of those. If you're Paul George and James Harden, do you re-sign and try to run it back?
If I'm James Harden, I'll resign. If I'm Paul George, I'll leave.
I think PG has a lot of options to go for. He does have a player option, so he can choose to opt in.
Right.
But he has Indiana. I think OKC even. I don't think we have the money for him, right? I think we do.
That'd be close.
But bringing a guy like him to start over Giddy, let Shea run the 1,
Yeah.
PG at the 2, then Dort, Dub, and Chet. That's a crazy deep lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I wouldn't see him. I could see him wanting to come back. I don't think he would. But I don't see us wanting to do that either because Sam Presti's so built on what he has right now.
Yeah.
But I could see Paul George going anywhere, honestly.
One of my favorite ideas is him going to Orlando.
Or the Spurs.
Do you think he'd go there if Trae Young was for sure going to San Antonio? Do you think he would really entertain that idea?
I think so. I wouldn't do.
Right.
Wemby's young. Trae Young's young. I mean, he's
Got one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah, and that team with.
I think he is the best coach of all time.
All time?
I think so.
Over Phil?
I do. I think he's better.
You're talking about just coaching wise or just?
I think coaching wise because I think Popovich is better at as adapting through the years. Phil still tried to run an old school offense with the Lakers.
Triangle,
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
It did, but I think Pop is more effective at adapting.
Yeah, I just think legacy-wise, everything-wise, I'm taking Phil.
It's probably still Phil.
Right now, my favorite coach in the league is either Mark D or Spo.
Spo, I think Spo's the best coach in the league right now.
Yeah.
Spo is the best in-game adjuster outside of Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue can fix anything.
Yeah.
But I think those two are the.
I think Dangle might win Coach of the Year this year, just because of the turnaround.
Yeah.
I know he was leading it a couple weeks ago.
They're going to give it to Missoula.
He don't deserve it.
No.
He's such a bad coach. Give it to Ime at this point on the Rockets.
At least they have an identity and they've turned their season around.
Yeah, Missoula's just riding the coattails of Ime.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of all I got. My opinion on LeBron. If I'm him in the Lakers, if the Lakers, let's say, obviously they're going to be a play-in team. If they don't make it out of the play-in or don't make it out of the first round, it's going to be hard for me to be in his shoes and want to run it back with that team. Solely because he's 39. He wants another ring to solidify that, that number one spot in the GOAT conversation. If I'm the Jordan supporter, I think he's the GOAT, but I'm saying if LeBron gets another ring, I'm probably going to slide him into number one. But it depends on what team that ring is going to be on. If he ends up pulling it off the Lakers, great. But if he goes to
Question. If he would for some, just say he signed with OKC, just to say, if they win it next year, what does that do?
For his legacy?
Yeah, just for everything.
Personally, I don't think they would win it if they have LeBron, just because
he's too ball dominant. Probably.
Too ball dominant. He probably. I'm not saying he's LeBron James, but he would kind of mess up everything that we already have. But if he won it with OKC, let's say OKC makes a run this year, and then he joins the team. We're a 2 seed no matter what. Him joining us just kind of feels like the same as him going to join another super team.
Yeah.
I think if he won on a team like Orlando or Indiana,
that'd be weird.
Or it would be weird, yeah. But there's one of those teams that you don't expect, and he wins it. I'm saying he slides in. He went to the Lakers, he slides in. But if I'm LeBron, I'm not coming back if they don't make it out of the first round of the play-in.
I can see that. I'll also be like Cavaliers. Evan Mobley is not good offensively. I say, what does the Cavaliers have to give up to get if they wanted to get LeBron? You probably have to give up Mobley.
Give up
multiple first round picks.
Yeah, probably gonna they have to give up DG.
You think so?
Definitely gonna have to give up.
So if the Lakers
would
would
give up Jared Allen,
I think they could keep Jared.
I think so.
Would you rather give up Jared or would you rather give up Mobley?
Jared, for sure.
Really?
I'm keeping Mobley.
Really?
He's younger.
He's terrible offensively.
Better potential. More potential. He's younger, better. I'm just gonna take Mobley. Potential wise and wise, I'm taking Mobley. But yeah, if I'm Braun, I just wouldn't be able to run it back again. Probably only has 3 years left, if that. I'm not saying his longevity is impressive, but you can tell he's slowing down game by game, year by year. He signed a 3-year deal. Honestly, he entertained the Hawks idea when Bron is projected to go to the Hawks, and we've seen him post that. I mean, imagine if Trey stayed, they got rid of DeJounte, brought in Bronny, and then Braun. It'd be a cool team to see. And Atlanta's another big market. I couldn't see him going to a small market team.
No.
Just because it's not his thing.
No.
Cleveland's not a giant market, but it's a big market. But if I'm him, I'm not staying. I'm not I couldn't run it back another time. No, I only have 3 years in the league left. But yeah, man, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Great episode, locked in. But check out new things on the Instagram page. We're definitely going to be definitely going to bring in some new things, some exciting things. I think not going to give it away, but it's definitely going to be exciting. The TikTok page, go follow it. The Foul Line. Check us out on YouTube. Yeah, so Foul Line. I'm Connor. This is Wyatt. We'll see you later.